boom. It's time for our review
Like
of Wonder
Krypton.
Woman. Yes, like Krypton explodes. But we will now be reviewing Wonder Woman number 142.
Right on,
As usual,
guys.
Tim, would you like to start us off with the credits?
Yeah, so let me put my glasses back on so I can actually see the words I wrote down. Wonder Woman number 142 is written by Eric Luke. Artwork is by Yannick Paquette and Matthew Clark. Inks go to Doug Hazelwood. Colors to Patricia Mulvihill. And letters to John Costanza.
Okay. And we didn't have it. Who would like to start off the story today? It could be any of us. Me?
I'll take it. So yeah, Wonder Woman 142. We kind of open it with Diana standing over a war, basically saying like, I can control this. This can't keep happening. And as things are blowing up around her, she's just taking out basically enemies and stopping tanks and missiles from flying. We learn from her friends that no one's really heard from her, and that like they heard her voice in their head. I believe it was in the one panel. Like I heard an inclination of her. So they go looking for her. They end up finding her at the Wonder Dome, and which I always love saying that out loud because it sounds so fancy. They're going through all the Wonder Dome and seeing all these artifacts and everything along the lines of the whole heritage of Wonder Woman. We get to Wonder Woman. She's talking about how she's gonna leave. Basically how Cassie's isn't ready to take up the mantle yet, but she needs to. That she's gonna see a point where she is in the past and where she's gonna be in the future. So that way it brings out her version that she believes she can be of Wonder Woman. And then also talks about how basically she wants to rid the world of all this evil and injustice on her own. So basically we're getting the evil Wonder Woman that everyone wants at some point in their lives. Not to that extent, but we're seeing that development of her character being like, I'm tired of war, I'm tired of innocents dying. If I can stop it, I'm going to. Like there's no more rules for me. I'm stopping this. I don't want to give too much away because I want to say some filler for you guys. But for me, if I'm going to rate it, the story wasn't the greatest for me. Like I thought this was going to be a good standalone issue. So with that said, I gave the writing a 6 because of the fact that it was a lot of jumping around. It was a lot of choppy areas. Like, oh, I just heard the voice in my head. Let's fly. Like, no, that's not really what. And then like just to throw Cassie into that 1-page predicament where she's like, you got to take over from me, but you're not ready. You got to have a clear head. That's basically all she said. And, that just didn't irk me, but it was like, she wanted to stop something at the beginning and at the end, she's a god at the end of the day. And she's just acting like a god now. So we really didn't get that much of a character portrayal throughout the whole thing to me. So that's why I gave it a 6. But I would say the 8 artwork for me is a solid 8. I love the artwork in the book. So overall for this book, I gave it a 7 overall.
Right on. That's not bad. That's pretty good rating.
And then you go or I go?
I'll go ahead and take it over. So I thought, and the reason I chose this one here for us was I had seen another podcast review this book, and they said that this was quite possibly one of the greatest Wonder Woman stories ever told. And
they lied to us.
I agree with that. I had to read that for myself.
With Jamie or with them podcast?
With Jamie. Because I've read plenty of amazing Wonder Woman stories, wonderful Wonder Woman stories, and this doesn't even crest the top 10. However, that doesn't mean it's a bad issue. So with that being said, I think a very solid message is contained in this one-off story, and the issue really shows how powerful Wonder Woman is, and not necessarily with strength or her superhuman abilities either. I mean, although that is there, right? Because it's a comic book and there's action and all that other stuff. I think the how they show her focus, her passion, and her drive for what she believes in. I think more of that is on display than her ability to survive direct missile impacts multiple times and rip tanks apart like they were tissue paper. Yeah, exactly. So I think it's a well-written, though a little bit 90-ish self-contained story. The artwork's really solid. It's consistent, and the inks and colors from the rest of the creative team help the visuals pop, which I really like. So yeah, it's solid all around. The writing gets a 7 out of 10 for me, and the only reason for that is I think that it could have been more linear. I agree with you, Jamie, where you said that it jumps around an awful lot, because it does, and I don't think that it needs to. I think they could have focused more on what Wonder Woman was doing and why she was feeling the way she was feeling, and we didn't get a whole lot of that. And I think the story would have been better with more of that and less of Cassie and all that stuff as an afterthought. The artwork, however, gets a 7.5. I really enjoyed both Yannick and Matthew's work together on that. You could see the differences, but I think they blended really well together. So that gets a 7.5 out of me, and overall it gets a 7.25 out of 10.
Okay. Now on to me, but yeah, like I said, this story, you guys going
Sonny's
over
a perfect 10.
Yes.
Couldn't give Green Lantern New Dawn one, but
giving it. So yeah, like I said, we began the war. Superman or Wonder Woman gets hit with the bomb, and then we go back. And yeah, basically, like I said, you were telling it, Jamie. And then one thing I did like with the story was I actually liked the writing. I liked the dialogue. To me, I think that was actually my favorite part of it. I thought the artwork was fine.
Yeah.
And to like the action, obviously it wasn't too much. You know, Wonder Woman, she's trying to stop the war in the Middle East, but it just said there wasn't like too much there. Like, so I would not say, oh, this is one of the best Wonder Woman stories ever, or oh, you need to read it. It was a fine read. I still thought it was a good story. I enjoyed reading it, but I didn't think it was that huge. And especially towards the end, like I don't want to give much away, but it's, you know, your lasso of truth, and she has, as she worded it, the twins of pain.
Yep.
And with that conversation with the two leaders, I was expecting more to see the conversation, and it kind of just was like they realized they were both similar.
I like the gloss over of it, though, because it wasn't a conversation that we needed to see, but we saw the key points during the process of them coming to terms.
Yeah, I actually would have liked to. I see like the point where they did, but I would have liked to have seen some of the points made from them. But I mean, I guess it is only 22 pages, so I'm like, okay, I do keep that in mind.
we
But
just
then for
wanted to
me-
be there for the. It's like the Khabib McGregor fight that happened. You
I
just
do wanna
wanted
see
the
the after
spotlight.
melee. Yeah.
Yeah.
But even too with the Wonder Dome, I thought it was kind of cool with seeing the past. Even like, is that Wonder Woman kissing Superman?
Yes, it is.
You know,
We don't talk about that.
Yeah. But I did think it was a good read for me, but I wasn't like, oh man, this is such a special issue. This is one of the best or anything like that. I just thought,
That's
Good.
why Sonny gives it a
Okay.
10 out of 10.
yeah, that I do give Wonder Woman issue number 142 a 7.3. I did good, but not
Ooh.
spectacular, not sensational.
We're
What a
into
good issue.
sevens.
Seven.
nice.
We're all
Son-
pretty close. This issue.
Well, Sonny, you gave it the highest grade out of everybody.
That's usually what
7.
Sonny does.
yeah.
But it's pretty solid. It's a nice 7 out of 10 issue. It's a good issue to read. It's better than filler, but not something that's going to stand out.
Agreed. Like I said, it seemed like we all pretty much agreed on our
Yep.
opinion. Good story, but not one of the best Wonder Woman stories ever.
Right.
No.
Absolutely.